So as the most successful musician of all time,
yeah.
Could you tell me, why do people like music?
I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know, why do people like eating food, or why do people like puppies and sunshine? And
That's YouTuber and musician extraordinaire Rob Scallon. He does things like play Slayer on banjo, create real-life delay, the largest pedal board, and he makes pretty music, which is why I asked him, why do you like music?
well, I mean, what was your answer?
I don't have it. I'm looking for the answer. Rob's reaction was pretty common among the people I asked. Why do people like music? Answer me this simple question. Why do people like music?
It's kind of a weird question.
Yes.
I guess.
Yes, it is. Sam and Nate are members of the quintessential rock band Driftless Pony Club. I also talked to two other members, Matt and Craig. I'm really nervous about this interview because you are a member of one of my all-time favorite bands. I know. So why do people like music is a weird question because music seems so innate in us. Not Nate in us, innate. But what is music? I think in one of my interviews, Craig said it best. Allow me to quote the 20th century French-born composer Edgar Varese. What is music but organized noise? Thanks, Craig, but I already knew that. I'm a big Varese head. That music just gets me moving. So the reason I'm asking this question is because I find it interesting that organized noise is something that we like. Like most ridiculous questions I ask that I don't expect to find an answer to, I just kind of want to ask it to learn about stuff. Reasons why people like music. 1.
Music is the most efficient way to communicate emotion.
Like, why do you personally like music?
I think because of the expression of it. I'm expressing myself and communicating. I think that applies whether you're making music or listening to it.
Can you figure out what it is that makes a song a good song?
Like a good song puts together a feeling that you know what it is, but you never actually been able to put your finger on it before. It helps crystallize maybe something you know, but you don't know how to express.
Music probably arose before we actually could speak.
Oh, you think so?
Because you can see music in the animal kingdom all over the place. Birds sing, whales sing.
Because I like nothing more than proving Matt wrong, I did a bit of research and I came to a very satisfying answer to the question, did music predate language? Answer. Bum bum bum. No one knows for sure. There is a 50,000-year-old Slovenian bone flute, my nickname in high school, made from an extinct bear, thought to be the world's oldest known instrument, which means music probably predated that by a lot. But there's debate as to whether it's actually an instrument at all. Also, we don't even know when language began, so... On the other hand, language probably started with a series of grunts and hums and whistles. That's just a theory of mine, or an excuse to just use this B-roll. And since music is organized noise, then music came before language. And actually, by that definition, language is music. We use notes to convey different ideas. Am I right? Am I right? I'm right. Now, before we move on, I would like to thank the sponsor of today's video, Floki, which is an app that teaches you how to play the piano. Can you feel the love tonight? Self-taught, which is why I'm using this app, so that I actually learn how to play piano. And it teaches you sheet music. I'm a self-taught guitar player, so I don't really know sheet music either. I've always messed around with piano. I can do this little ditty. Not very well, obviously. My sister taught me this one. Do, a deer, a female deer, a drop of golden sun. But I don't know the right place to put my fingers. I don't know how to play chords. But that's exactly what this does. It shows me how to play chords, and it has wait mode. So it'll listen to you play the notes, and it'll pause the song until you play the correct note, so you learn at your own pace. It's a music teacher, and I don't even have to leave my own house or put pants on, but I will, because it's kind of cold down here. And when my daughter's older, she can use this app to learn, although she's already pretty good. Check it out. It has over 1,500 songs you can learn, from Chopin to the Beatles, and video game music, Tetris. It's ideal for total beginners all the way through advanced pianists. It works with any piano or keyboard, and it's available on iOS and Android smartphones and tablets, and in a standard browser. So you can click the link below to go to go.floki.com/WheezyWaiter and start learning piano today. So music, other than spoken language, may be an older and simpler, yet more fundamental form of language that's better at expressing emotions than words can. Or just may communicate emotions quicker. Like, have you ever heard of the Devils Tritone? Lovely, isn't it? It's called a tritone because it's 2 notes that are 3 whole steps apart. And it communicates tension, something unresolved. It wants you to play this chord Or maybe... And then it sounds complete. And you probably feel that tension, don't you? Which leads to number 2. 2, it affects moods. If you were listening to the Devils Tritone all day, I don't think I'd want to be around you. Luckily, there are other chords.
Like major 7th chords, oh my god, I love them so much. I could live in a major 7th chord for the rest of my life.
Why is that?
A perfect major chord is like, look at this beautiful sunset. Look at this like impossibly perfect thing.
Like my beard, right?
Yeah, like your beard. But this is more like near perfect, but it's like something or someone that you love who's not perfect, but you love them unconditionally anyway. Like it's still right, but you're loving it with its flaws. Here's the major that we got. It's very plain. And now we're on to major 7s. And I'm not feeling the same. Another major 7. Ooh. All right. Like, I just love that sound.
It can lift your mood if you're sad or something and you listen to like a sad song. I think it like makes you feel like someone else is feeling that, which is comforting. If you're going through sort of a strange period, you can kind of write a song about it, help you get those emotions out. If you write like a happy song or like more energizing like we have in our band, it's kind of amazing to be able to share that with people.
I asked you why you like music on the Beard Lover subreddit, and many of you gave great answers, like this one. I find music to be a form of on-demand empathy. That's great nukes for Gary. Someone send that guy some nukes. He deserves it. On-demand empathy, needing to cue up some kind of sound that shares in the feeling that you're having. I think a lot of this might have to do with not wanting to feel alone. When you're sitting around outside hearing nature sounds, it can be nice and pretty, but also boring and lonely. Put on some music and suddenly you're hearing something intentional, created by another human. Scaramouche, will you do the fandango? Thunder. Does music affect your mood, Craig? Yeah, it helps get me amped when I'm working out. It also helps me focus when I'm writing for videos. You make videos? Yeah. Oh my god, same! You're my idol. I know. Wow, Craig and I really bonded just then. Which brings us to number 3. It brings people together.
The whole direction of my life was sort of dependent on music. In high school, I always felt like nerdy or like a little bit different from other people, but you know, I started going to like punk rock shows, like it made me feel part of a larger community.
Why do you like live performance?
It creates like an atmosphere where I think everyone is enjoying one thing at the same time.
And there's something so awesome and powerful about playing an amplified drum kit in a big venue. And when you hit that kick drum, like the whole room shakes. Like everyone in the room feels it.
Music is probably the foundation of my friendship with these guys, Nate, Sam, and Matt. We played shows to full and empty rooms across this great country for, I guess you could say, decades now. Yeah, and Rob and I also collaborated on WheezyWaiter songs.
Well, we did a ton of songs together.
Yeah, we did This Is a Song.
This is a song, this is a song. Everybody knows the words cause I just said them all.
The Miley Cyrus, I Am Corn.
Boy, I am corn.
Wrecking Bagel.
Claiming everything I know. Got me cooking, it's just not enough.
The Halloween song was really good.
Halloween, everybody loves Halloween.
Craig with a Wig song.
Craig with a wig.
And then there's dancing, which literally brings people together and could be largely responsible for the populating of the species. According to the book, This Is Your Brain on Music, the archaeological record shows an uninterrupted record of music making everywhere we find humans and in every era. A repeated record twice, but music's about repetition, so. He also pointed out that concert halls actually arose only in the last several centuries. The idea of splitting a performer and an audience is a relatively new thing. Throughout most of the world and for most of human history, music making was as natural an activity as breathing and walking, and everyone participated. When you think about it, before TVs and radios and just electricity, there wasn't a whole lot else to do. Sitting around a campfire, what could you be doing? You could be eating, telling stories that everyone's heard a million times, punching each other, maybe a game of guess whose poop that is. Or you could play an instrument or dance to music. Everyone can make and enjoy the same thing, strengthening your group identity. Nowadays, you can also strengthen your group identity by just sharing in what you listen to, like Juggalos or Deadheads or Voracy Heads. It would be challenging to name them all, which brings us to number 4, which is overcome challenges, transitions. Oh yeah, it's just fun to try to overcome challenges or watch people overcome challenges. Playing instruments and songwriting and almost anything I do kind of began as just seeing if I could do it. I first got into making music when one of my childhood friends got an electric guitar and he showed me that he could play Come As You Are by Nirvana, and then I had to learn how to play it. Yeah, still got it. Knowing you, like you also skate, you like a challenge.
I do, and with instruments, just you can express yourself in a different way. Like you get a sonic outcome. Like if you learn a trick, you end up with a different sound that you can use practically in songs or videos, in my case, that you can express yourself. I don't know, there's no musical reason to do like a Hurricane Topsoul.
You can't really write a song with skate tricks.
No, I mean, maybe Andrew Wong probably could.
PPAP.
Number 5 on the list is brought up by Dave475. It stores memories. I can listen to music from high school that I haven't thought about in 10 years and immediately have an awesome time, still knowing every word or nearly every chord. Whenever I hear an old DPC song like this one, I'm reminded of practices we had when we were writing it, performances. I remember the very first moment that Matt introduced this riff. It's like time travel. Yeah, it's like I can almost feel what you're feeling. Back to that book again, Daniel Levitin, who is a neuroscientist and a musician, says there's a very strong connection between memory and music. It would not be hyperbole to say that without memory there would be no music. Music works because we remember the tones that we have just heard and are relating them to the ones that are just now being played. Music communicates to us emotionally through systematic violations of expectations. Like if I just play this monotonous note, doesn't really feel like much. But if I do this, that's a stronger emotion. But having expectations at all requires memory. And Daniel has some stuff to say about it involving the brain, which brings us to the next thing. Brain reasons. The amygdala, long considered the seat of emotions in mammals, sits adjacent to the hippocampus, long considered the crucial structure for memory storage. Every neuroimaging study that my laboratory has done has shown amygdala activation to music, but not to random collections of sounds or musical tones. So basically, like, music makes us emotional because of memory or whatever, in theory. There are many, many, many other brain reasons why we like music that I'm not going to go into here. But here's a few tidbits that I didn't know were true until I started making this video. Music listening, performance, and composition engage nearly every area of the brain that we have so far identified and involve nearly every neural subsystem. Pitch is so important that the brain represents it directly. Unlike almost any other musical attribute, we could place electrodes in the brain and be able to determine what pitches were being played to a person just by looking at the brain activity. That's crazy. That's like we have a piano in our brain, and I like to think that that piano is being played by a monkey. Monkeys. That brings us to the last thing on the list, evolutionary reasons. One reason sound causing emotions could be useful is that, you hear a lion roaring, it's gonna cause fear, you're gonna run the other way, you're gonna survive. Or you hear a chicken clucking, you're gonna run towards it to eat it. Well, at least you would have before. We have grocery stores now. Or you might be vegan. The point is it helped for survival. Some believe music doesn't have an evolutionary purpose at all. Psychologist Dan Sperber says that music is an evolutionary parasite. We just gain the ability to make different pitches and sounds for communication, and music just kind of happened alongside it. Or it could be the equivalent of a giant peacock's tail. If you're good at music, you're just gonna attract more mates. People could think, well, if this person was committed enough to get good at music, they will be committed to family. And that's definitely true today. Name one musician that isn't a dependable family member. Another possibility is music's ability to bring people together and strengthen bonds could have helped societies work together and survive. But I think the thing we can say for certain is that no one knows for certain. Regardless,
It's a multifaceted tool.
it really is. Music's pretty great. I think that's the conclusion I'll come to.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Music's pretty good.
Let's keep it going.
There's a couple other things I want to mention that I just couldn't fit in a list that I just found interesting. I found this video about how deaf people can enjoy music just like anyone.
My body feels like when I'm dance, it feels like earthquake.
And a commenter on my second channel, Wheezy News, brought up musical anhedonia, which involves an individual's incapacity to enjoy listening to music. Apparently affects 3 to 5% of the population. So, if you don't enjoy music, that's fine. And if you want to learn a lot more detail that I just couldn't fit in this video, you should check out the book, This Is Your Brain on Music. Also, Musicophilia, Tales of Music in the Brain by Oliver Sacks. And David Byrne's book, which Nate recommended and many of you recommended, How Music Works. Thanks for watching my video. You can click thumbs up, don't you know? Or you can click subscribe. Support me on Patreon, what do you say? I make a week daily vlog every weekday.